Hello everyone, today I'm gonna talk about my Necromancer build for PvE activities for dungeons, raids and open world farm. So let's start with open world farm. I am going to start with set items. For this build I am using 2-piece Izatar and 4-piece Shepherd set. Izatar gives us increased movement speed and Shepherd gives us more summon damage and critical hit chance up to 18%. So this is really important with this build. Izatar is optional, but it's good thing to have because it gives you 30% increased movement speed for 3 seconds every time you defeat an enemy, which means you have 30% increased movement speed all the time. Moving on to the legendary gear, we have Norictus on our headpiece. Your skeletal champions are replaced with skeletal archers. These skeletons deals a lot of damage and you can send them to the next pack of mobs to keep your kill streak up. And we are using this Pierce Hammer essence to increase our command skeleton's damage even more. This gives us 19% increased damage from our new weapon slot. And for the chest piece we have Flickering Warmth. Bone Armor instead summons 3 bone spikes that orbit you and damage any enemies they strike. And to increase Bone Armor's duration we use Graven Bulwark. Bone Armor duration increased by 39%. This goes very well together, and if you have Battle Hope, this essence still triggers it and you get increased damage and movement speed out of that. And for the shoulders we have this one, which increases Skeletal Mage maximum charges by 1, which is really useful when open world farming. To enhance our Skeletal Mages, we use Twin Vestige. Skeletal Mages now have a chance to be empowered, immediately casting a bounce spell when summoned. This is really important to use this on your offhand. Now for the main hand we have Desolatoria. Command Golem now summons a Molten Golem that continually burns all nearby enemies instead of forcing them to attack it or stunning them. So basically Command Golem is our biggest damage skill and we increase its damage with Death Keen Shield Essence. Command Golem now also deals 14.5 additional damage to enemies for each harmful effect they suffer from, up to a maximum of 58, and we are using this one on our new shield spot. Other than that, let me show you our skills. I'm sure you already get it, but we have Command Golem, Skeletal Mage, Command Skeletons and Bone Armor. You can use Bone Spear or Soul Fire for your primary attack, but I choose Bone Spear because it deals more damage. And we have one more important thing to talk about, and it is curse properties. I am using 6 pieces of Vex set. When your summons enter the battlefield, you let out a roar, dealing 130% of your damage to nearby enemies. And here's the important part. Additionally, the roar drives your summons into a furious rage, increasing their movement speed and attack speed by 24% for 6 seconds. This is basically another frenzy for our summons, which is quite useful again. I am using these curse properties for all my PvE actions. Now we can move on to the dungeon build. Before we get into this, I want to mention that I use this build for raids and Shadow Wars too. Now let's start with set items again. As you can see, this time I am using 6 pieces of Shepherd set, because I want to benefit from this Frenzy summon buff too, which gives our summons 60% attack speed for 12 seconds, which is huge. And for the headpiece we have the same Norictus head essence. Chest essence is not important, we don't have anything we can use for this build, so you can put whatever you want here. Shoulders are the same with the open world farm. Skeletal Mage maximum charges increased by 1. For the pants, and this is really important, we are using Guided by Maggots, which gives our summons another attack speed and movement speed buff. And for the offhand we have Welcome End, which turns our Skeletal Mages into a powerful Grim Reaper. This is the highest damage deal in Skeletal Mage essence, so that's why I am using it. Same thing applies for main hand too. This essence turns our Command Golem into a Stone Golem which throws boulders at enemies and rolls through enemies instead of leaping. This essence deals the highest Command Golem damage too, so that's why I'm using it. Our additional main hand is the same. Pierce Hammer increases our Command Skeleton's damage, and for the additional offhand we use Death Keen again to increase our Command Golem's damage. We have the same curse set, of course, and other than that I can recommend you some legendary gems. First one is Pain Clasp. This is a must-have gem for almost all classes. And second, Mother's Lament increases your critical hit chance. This can be used by almost all classes again. These two are probably the most powerful 2-star legendary gems for all classes. And for Necromancer I have Follower's Burden. If you are a Necromancer and PvE is all you care about, you should have this gem 100%. Other than that you can use Blood Reach, which is really good for range classes. And of course you can use Berserker's Eye, this gives you increased damage all the time. And of course if you can have it, Bloodsocket Jade is perfect, Battle Top, they are all really good. And I can recommend Starfire Shard for Necromancers too. It's a really good extra burst damage for Necromancers. I think that's all I wanted to say about my PvE builds. I'm gonna share some PvP builds as well in the upcoming days. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Take care.